All right, welcome back to Middle City Bomber football on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All right, Coach, if we could have you come over here a second. Yeah, this is someone who graduated from Midwest City not too long ago, right?
About 88, whenever 86 was.
Yeah, whatever long ago that was.
That's right.
Mike Gundy, Coach, thank you for joining us here. A lot of questions to ask you, but first off, what's it like watching your sons play against your high school?
You know, it's unusual. The first time my middle son, Gunner, played at Midwest City when he was, I think he was maybe a freshman, I can't remember. And it was very unusual to go and park at Rose Field and go on the other side of the stands. And then I've been back there a couple of times since with both of them playing, but it's been unusual. I was pretty excited last time I was there a year or so ago. They had the new facility, looked fantastic, but it is difficult and it's unusual.
That's pretty. It's great you still come by there too. What's it like seeing Stillwater become this dominant team? I mean, the last 3 years they've won district going undefeated, and you've been here for a while. So Stillwater High School's had some good teams, but they've been epic the last 3 years, and it happens to coincide with your sons being there. That has to be pretty great.
Well, you know, it's been a lot of fun. Kristen and I have been very fortunate that Tucker and his staff here at Stillwater, they do a great job, and the boys. I'll tell you a funny story. It's a really good lesson for everybody. I had Gunner, my middle son, who played here for 4 years, in the car with me when he was in 8th grade. I picked him up on a Friday night, and him and his buddies were listening to the high school game. I just had it on the radio, and at that time Stillwater wasn't winning. And they lost a game, and they were kind of mouthing in the back seat. They were like, "Oh, they're no good. They stink, all that, whatever." So I stopped the car and pulled over. I said, "That's the problem we have right here. Is you guys don't have respect for your own school and the whole story. You know, the parenting story, basically." And I said, "You guys are going to be up there in 2 years. We'll see what you do, and you have a chance to change it anyway." So from that group on, Stillwater's done very well, and they've changed their attitude, and I couldn't be any more proud of everybody here and the hard work they've put in. But it's been fun. We've been fortunate to have the boys play, and it's been a lot of fun watching them.
All right. I asked you about this before we got on, but it's a quick update on another former Midwest City Bomber who's kind of following your footsteps, Mikhail Smith. I understand he's been hurt, but
Sure.
but he's getting back. He's getting healthy.
He was hurt in the summer, and we got him repaired, and he's fixed, and he's just now getting back to where he's going to start doing some walking, and then we're thinking in about 6 weeks he'll be back up and running. He has not got a chance to practice with us because it happened in June, but great young man. I'll tell you what's really awesome is we just had academic meetings this week, and he's doing fantastic in the classroom, and they talked about what a great kid he is over in our academic center, and so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great to see that Bomber education's working for him. All right, we're going to talk to my producer, Jasmine. Go and get that first picture up there. So our first picture we got right here. I just want to see what comes to your mind when you see that. So there you are taking a snap for Midwest City. What are your favorite memories when you think back to playing for Midwest City?
You know, you don't see anybody take a snap that way anymore. That's the first thing. But when I was young, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, my mom and dad, we went to the Midwest City games on Friday nights, and as a kid, I played under the stadium. I played with a little football, and we had tackle football, and then I played in the end zone. They used to have the cedar trees, and on one end, and then on the east end, on the other end was a scoreboard. And I remember going to those games as a little kid. We went home or away; it didn't make any difference, and that was a big deal to us. And I was raised with Bomber pride and Bomber magic. My mom was a Midwest City graduate in '60. She was there when they won a state championship, and so that was instilled in me from a little kid.
All right, let's look at that second picture. And this is you playing baseball, and I think that says Monteroni.
That's right.
But you look like a junior in high school, but you could have been much older than 9th grade.
That was 9th grade. That was baseball. You know, it used to be Monteroni and Jarman, and I think now it's Midwest City Junior High.
It just changed, yes, to Midwest City Middle School.
And so it used to be Monteroni and Jarman. That was baseball. So I was fortunate enough to play baseball all the way up until I got to college.
All right, we got one more picture to show you. I don't know when this picture was taken because it's at Midwest City, and it's you and your brother Cale. Wearing your college uniforms, and people like to talk about how there's got to be a rivalry between you two when it comes to OU and OSU, but I have to ask this. So you won a state title your senior year, I believe.
That's correct.
And Cale won a state title his junior year.
That's correct.
Do you guys ever argue about which team was better?
Well, we never have talked about that. Mom would not let us have those discussions. And then, of course, Cale's been at OU for I don't know how many years now. He was there when Bob was there his first year, so I think 21, 22 years. And then, of course, I've been here forever. And then when we all get together as a family, we have a divided family because my sister and her husband were OSU. Her husband played baseball here, and their daughters played softball at OU. So it's a mess. And she had never let us talk about OU or OSU at any time we're around or about each other's teams. She wouldn't go for any of that. So we never had any of those discussions.
Oh, but the 85 Bombers would beat the 88 Bombers, right?
I think so.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to hand it off the headset to a guy you're very familiar with. One of the reasons you're able to come up here, family friends with Tom Carpenter. I know you guys got a lot of connections here. And
sure.
One of the things that Tom says, I hate to, if I'm spoiling this for you, Tom, but he says your sister's a better athlete than you guys.
She was a very athletic. Carrie was a good basketball player. And a good softball player, and then she got into about her junior year of high school and then decided to just kind of do the girl thing, and she didn't play sports anymore.
Oh, I thought you continued on, but that was going to be my question. Who was the best athlete among the Gundy kids?
She's pretty athletic. She had those girls that all played high-level softball.
All right. Other question I had, who's the best dancer in the family?
Me by far. It's not even close.
I think that's pretty much a given. The vote was taken.
Flexibility is important there.
Now, Miss Sonnet is my hairdresser. She got my hair today, and she said, will you ask him if he's used the same hairdresser over the years?
I have. Kathy down at Clip It Up down on the strip has cut my hair for 20 years or so.
That's pretty awesome.
I came back in 2000, and she's been doing it ever since.
One of the things that has always stuck with me is on the man comment, because you're standing up for your player. And that meant so much to me as a son of an athlete. My kids were athletes. And when a coach stood up for my kids and I stood up for my kids, I really appreciate that. I mean, you stood up for them, and
that was a time when, and it's still to this day for the most part, that the players don't have as much of a voice at times, and they're so humble a lot of times they don't want to defend themselves. And so for that reason, I felt like that was something that was needed to do.
One last question for you here. Okay, so there's still a possibility that we could see 2 Bedlam games this year. If you guys can keep winning, and I know you had a tough loss to Iowa State, but if OU can beat Iowa State, I think could be you two playing twice in 2 weeks. Can your family handle that?
Well, it would be tough. I know that. It's a tough one for all of us, but it's going to be an interesting run the rest of the way through the Big 12. You know what's really good is it's hard to tell who's going to win any game. Look at the scores, and there's so much parity this year, and the reason why is because the quarterback play in the Big 12 over the last 6 or 8 years was fantastic, through the roof. Tons of points scored. Now we're playing with young quarterbacks in this league, with the exception of the guy at Iowa State. And so you're not getting the games with this much separation. So week to week, depending on who's playing, you got to be ready. Just like, Oklahoma was 38-point favorite at Kansas last week, and it was a close game right to the end. And so you just never know anymore with the way things go based on quarterback play. All
right. Well, there's a lot to look forward to. And any last comments about your Midwest City days, Coach?
Well, the upbringing, and Tom's mom was my third-grade teacher, and I knew that when he called the other day. And the upbringing that we had at Midwest City, we walked to school, we rode our bikes. People cared. Teachers took care of the students, and families took care of each other, and it was a special place. And I take my sons back and I drive them around and show them, and the memories that when I see things, the memories I have are special, just with people that took care of people, and I think that's what we like about Stillwater, is because we get the same thing here. This is a community of 45,000 people, and everybody takes care of each other. But I have special memories. Coach Evans, Coach Long, I mean, just so many things. There's a lot of history, and I still brag all the time. I think it was 46 or 48 years that Midwest City made the playoffs in football in a row. And I brag about that all the time, and people think that's crazy, but to me that was important. It's a big deal because that's where I was raised.
Yeah, it was a great tradition when you were playing. It was a great tradition before, and it was a great tradition after. It was just one of the great traditions in Oklahoma high school football, and not just in football, but in other sports. So
no doubt, yeah. And Coach is doing a good job. Coach Hall's doing a good job.
Yeah.
They're you watch him play, and they're structured, they're organized, and you can tell when you watch teams. See, I didn't start watching high school football again until my middle son was a freshman because my job, obviously, and I didn't have a reason to because I was working. And then I started watching again. And when you watch teams, you can tell where the structure and organization, and Midwest City is structured, organized, and they're doing a good job.
Did you ever find yourself wanting to recruit kids now you watch your sons play when you see them play?
I see them all the time. Yeah, I see guys that I see athletic guys out here. We played Del City about 3 weeks ago, and they're loaded right now. They've got those 3 kids on defense that are fantastic. So anyway, it's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, Coach Gundy, thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and take another break. We appreciate Coach Gundy a lot. You are watching Midwest City Bomber football on the Oklahoma Sports Network.